What if you could take that risk, make that change, reach that goal, live your best life? Welcome to another episode of the What If You Could podcast, where we get together with amazing experts and everyday people who share challenges, encourage healing, and explore the possibilities that life has to offer. I'm your host, Gary Scott, and I'm excited that you're along for the ride. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the What If You Could podcast. And today, my amazing, shimmering guest, all the way from London, is Gloria Battini. Hello, Gloria.
Hello, Gary. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I was so expecting an Italian accent, even though I did go to a bunch of your YouTubes. So I cheated. I went to a bunch of your YouTubes to listen to you because I've been to Italy a bunch of times. I love Italy. I'm like, oh, cool. We'll have a paisano. But no, she sounds British.
I think I sound like I don't know if I have an accent at this point because I have been in England for 15 years now, but I also work with a lot of people over in America. Work with people over in Australia. I work with people over all over Europe. So I really don't know whether if I have an accent or not. People here they tell me often that I sound American, and then
Well, you're like me. We're a mutt. I mean, I've got all sorts of different things going on here. So yeah, I mean, who knows what'll come flying out of my pie hole. So yeah, but I like your accent
of the
very well.
world.
I
Thank
love your
you.
accent. So
Thanks.
if I may, I'm going to read your introduction real quick, and we'll get cooking.
Of course.
Cool biz. All right, everybody. We have Gloria Battini is a globally respected spiritual guide, mentor, and advocate for conscious living. Through her transformative readings, one-on-one mentorship programs, live events, and online courses, Gloria empowers individuals to find inner harmony, unlock their psychic gifts, and connect with the universal energies around them. With years of experience and a deeply intuitive understanding of energy and spirit, Gloria has guided hundreds of clients on their paths to spiritual awakening, healing, and empowerment. Beyond individual sessions, Gloria's work speaks to a broader vision, a new earth, where individuals live in harmony with nature, fully aware of their intuitive abilities and connected to the energies around them. Her teachings are grounded, approachable, and transformational, offering spiritual wisdom that feels both accessible and profound. Gloria's work, deeply inspired by her own journey of coming home to self, invites you to embrace your innate power and step into the life you were meant to live. Well, that's it, guys. We're out of here. That was that's all we need.
A whole 10 minutes of it.
That's awesome. No, it's just so much goodness there. It's all sorts of good yumminess there. So, but before we jump into all that stuff, because there's so much to jump into, like I mentioned, I'm contractually obligated by the What If You Could podcast, which is just me, to ask you the what if you could question. So, Gloria, do you have a what if you could question or what if you could thought for the gang before we jump in the pool?
I absolutely have a what if I could. What if we could wake up tomorrow morning, the whole of the earth, the whole planet? What if we could all wake up tomorrow morning with the deep understanding of who we actually are, of our intuitive abilities, knowing that we're all psychic, that we're all intuitive, knowing that we create our own reality, and all of us completely at home with ourselves. What if we could do that?
Well, that's freaking
What would
awesome.
happen?
It's freaking awesome, but I think it scared the shit out of 90% of the people. They go, "What the hell just happened? Who is this person I'm with?" Well, that's an amazing what if you could. So how do we do that? You're the expert healer gal.
Yeah,
How do we get everyone? There's only 7 billion people. You could do that on like a Zoom
right.
call. How do we get everyone to do that?
I think that a lot of people are already on the way. I have to say this. I really have to say. I think that there's a lot of people that are already gaining a greater understanding of who we are as human beings, our abilities and all this. How do we get there? I think it's all about um peeling off the layers and peeling off the layers of our own experience, peeling off the layers of our own life experience, understanding that whatever has happened was not in any way, shape, or form to harm us, but it was for us to have an understanding of something. So, first, peel off the layers of our own life, and then peel off the layers of societal conditioning and just really, really attune to our soul instead, really,
I
really
I
attune to
think I
that.
think people are afraid to do that. Don't you think? I think a lot of people are afraid to really take a deep look at themselves and go, you know, if I start unpeeling this onion, then I have to face a lot of things that maybe I don't want to face, I don't want to see.
Yeah, yeah.
How do we get
And
people to feel comfortable doing that, you think? To get comfortable unpeeling that, like you said, unraveling those layers.
yeah. Um, it's not a comfortable journey, for sure. So
No,
if
that's
you're
why no one
looking,
takes it.
if you're looking to tell the people, oh, this is how you can be comfortable with it, I don't think we're going at it in the right way. I don't think we're doing a good service if we start telling them that. No, it's a deeply uncomfortable thing to do, but I truly believe, to me, it's always felt very obvious. It's always felt very obvious, almost like, and obviously we are sovereign, each and everyone has a choice every single day, right? But I think that there's one, like, as ourselves right now, we have this life. To me, that's enough. To me, that is enough to be like, okay, this is this one life, this one here. I'm not gonna be this version of me again. I'm gonna have different lives for sure, whatever you choose to, in whichever way you understand, the universe and our lives and who we are and energy and all of that. So I'm gonna have different lives. My soul, this is what it's here to do, but this expression of my soul that I have now, this is it. We get this one shot at this. Isn't that motivation enough for us to just not let it just pass by and actually be active in this? No?
Yeah, but we get comfortable in this, right? We get comfortable. Even if it sucks, we get comfortable, right? Whether it's a shitty relationship, whether it's a horrible job, whether we don't like our kids, I mean, we get comfortable, right? So yeah, this is the only one we've got, but not everyone's real motivated, to change it. And like when you wrote, you said, find the soul's purpose. Now, to
Yeah,
me, that's like the epic journey, right? That's like who doesn't want to go deep and find your soul's purpose? Especially as we get older. I'm like 10 times older than you, right? So, but when you're younger and just partying and having a great time, that's not something you think about, right? Is finding your soul's purpose. But I
do you
love how
know
you bring that up. How are we going to find that? Find my soul's purpose for me. Help me do that.
do you know what though about the being young? I actually, I I think it's actually a very unique experience. I don't think it's age related at all. I think it's a very unique experience to each and every person, because we all have a very unique life, which, we come from our own parents. We all have different parents, we've, and even if we have siblings, they're different parents to them than they are to us sometimes. It's very unique because we are different people as well. And so I've come across a lot of young people that are actually super intrigued by the whole soul's purpose journey and finding themselves. And I literally work with people of all ages. I think my youngest client is in the early 20s. And then
Wow.
I have people that are almost 70. So it really is something that I really don't believe it has an age. I really don't think it's age related. No.
Well, like
Um,
you say about death, I mean, if we don't really die, I mean, maybe we don't really age, and maybe our soul doesn't age. Maybe the body ages, but the soul
yeah.
doesn't age. So, you find your path whenever you find it. It doesn't matter how old you are.
It doesn't matter. No, it really doesn't matter how old you are. I agree. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I don't think it's an age-related thing. Yeah, yeah.
Do you think a lot of people need to find pain first? Do you think they need to hit the wall? Do you think they need to have something happen maybe before they go, I've got to fix this stuff. I've got to find my purpose of what I'm doing here before
Yeah.
maybe people start searching?
Yeah, so and so. I think it depends how you were brought up. I think it depends who your parents were and what they told you about what life is. Because if you had conscious parents that have been talking to you about soul's purpose and a creative and aligned life since you were very little, that's going to be very natural to you. It's going to be a very natural journey to wanting to be connected and discover yourself, and in a sense, be spiritual already, since a very young age. But I think that the parents that a lot of us had um are not that way. I think there has been a lot of pain, a lot of traumas, and I think that our parents didn't necessarily have the means to understand what was happening. Not everybody, for sure. And therefore, they passed it on to us. And when they passed it on to us, some of us are waking up at some point. Yeah, something bad happens, and you're like, "Ooh, I really need to fix this. This is a massive wake up call," Some of us find that maybe they wake up to this. It doesn't necessarily have to be a specific thing that happens, but maybe some of us wake up in this emptiness and they don't want to live in the emptiness anymore. Therefore, they're like, okay, I need to fix this. So I think it's very unique. Yeah, it's a very unique journey. Yeah.
Emptiness is an interesting word. Emptiness
Mm,
is an interesting word. I think when maybe something happens and you find that, yeah, my world's kind of empty, no matter what's happening in it, right? It could be really busy, you could be really rich, you could be really healthy. There could be a lot of things on the outside that seem like are great, right? People think, well, what's your problem? Everything's great. But inside, you've got that emptiness, right? And
yeah.
I think as you struggle with that, I think that voice would get louder, and that's when you start seeking more.
Yeah.
And I think
Eh,
we
Yeah.
all
Sorry.
have that time of emptiness where we feel just alone or empty and I think that's when, for me, that's when I start searching, was when that
Mhm.
happens.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I think that the emptiness come when we are in misalignment, when we are mismatched with our soul, when we haven't found that yet. And it could also be sometimes, you could be a very aligned person and be really, really connected to your soul's purpose. But then obviously life is a journey, isn't it? So something might happen that gets you, off track and you feel lost again. And all of a sudden this emptiness and you don't understand it. So it's not necessarily I find my soul's purpose and this is it. I have this one thing that I have to find out in my life. I think that this is a myth. It's like it's not when we talk about finding your soul's purpose, I really see it as just living the journey of life in following simply your intuition. Your intuition, living a creative life, follow whatever your gut, because your gut is the thing that's connected. Your gut, your intuition is the thing that's connected to your soul, right? And today it might tell you one thing, but 10 years down the line, maybe it wants something else. And I think that that's what it means to be aligned to your soul purpose, to just be really aligned with your own intuition, with your gut, and follow that journey without fear. It's okay. And if it's uncomfortable, I think that you get to a point when you start seeing the rewards of it and how much your life changed, that you understand how much the discomfort is actually amazing, because it gets you to this place, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And I think the uncomfortableness, maybe a major life event, some sort of trauma that awakens that, like we kind of talked about a little bit earlier, where you just go, wow, either you come to the fact that this can't be all there is. I don't want to be stuck where I am. I'm going on a path that I just thought was the right one, but it's not nurturing to my soul at all. My soul is in pain, you know. And I love that you're working with younger people who can start searching sooner. Because when you're 97 like me, you don't want to say it's too late, but you look back and go, boy, I wish I would have searched sooner. You know, I wish I would have looked for that sooner. So I love that you're working with younger people.
I love that too. I find young people so inspiring, so inspiring. Do you know what? If there's one thing, I was raised in a household with this mentality of attacking the younger generation because you're ruining things, because right? Attacking, you have no idea what we did to build this. And I'm looking at what they built and I'm like, wow.
It's pretty screwed up, man. I don't know what you're so proud of.
I'm really proud of that. No, but I grew up in a household like that. You know, like you guys have everything. You do this and you do that. But it was not. I understand now that it wasn't an attack at a generation. It was projection, right? It
Yeah.
was definitely projection of the people that I grew up with. But I am so inspired. So inspired by the younger generations. You know, I really am. And the way that I mean, the guys who are the Gen Z now, which are there in their like 20s now. I am absolutely in awe of them. They are so brave. They are so brave. Boundaries. And I always think, wow, I wish I had these boundaries at your age. This is amazing. And it's so encouraging. It's so beautiful to see, you know. But yes, you know, I look around at so many, and so many people are attacking the younger generations. And why are they doing this? And why are they doing that? Come on, like they're more honest with themselves than you ever were. Come on, you know,
Yeah.
just try
Yeah.
to.
I mean, think about it. Imagine, I'm 62, right?
Mhm.
Imagine how fast things are moving right now. It's just like everything's light speed, everything's changing so quickly. And when I was younger, things didn't move at all. I mean, when it went from 8 track tapes to a cassette, I was like, holy crap. And then when it went from cassette to a CD, I'm like, holy crap, this is crazy, right? But now it's like things are changing so rapidly. It's not easy to be young right
It's
now,
not.
right? I mean, the pressures are insane. The speed of change is so insane, right? So for the ones that get it and the ones that are seeking, you got to give them some credit, right? You got to give them a little love for that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have, as I said, I have, and I am a client of so many people who are a younger generation. I mean, you know, I love working with people who are, you know, 10, 15 years younger than me because I love the fresh perspective. I love to see what is it that, you know, how they work. And as much as I love working with people who are older than me, but it's yeah, it really makes me sad when people attack them. It really
You know,
does.
I'm reading a book and I keep forgetting the name. I was telling someone else about it, and I'm literally reading it every night, and I still can't remember the name. But I think it's about aging and about how this guy. There's a lot of books on aging, you know, super agers and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But this guy's kind of going deep into the fact that, you know, looking at all these people that live from 95 to 110 and why they're different and what's going on, and you think that they're these super people, right? Like they super healthy, live great, all this stuff, but it's not true. I mean, this the oldest gal who lived in France was 122, and she smoked for 90 years, and her diet was basically chocolate, right? No, she was not a health nut. And I think the mindset that you work with, you know, when I went down the rabbit hole with you about the different stuff, a lot of the stuff that you talk about is just some of the things you say, like where you feel at home within themselves. And about
Mhm.
when you talk with your own personal journey about coming home to self. You know,
Yeah.
the research on these people who live the longest seem to just be the most at peace with themselves. You know, it's not diet, it's not exercise, it's not drinking or smoking. It's just they're not so wrapped up in the bullshit. And
I
I
agree.
love how you talk about that, bringing people into just finding the love and the peace and the happiness within yourself. It's very
Yeah.
empowering.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And it's coming home to ourselves is it's all around understanding our purpose, you know, and how our purpose is, like we said earlier, how our purpose is also a journey, that just unfolds and you just step by step walk this path of this life. Yeah, absolutely. Coming home to ourselves is first of all, imagine that. Okay. So imagine everything that's going on in the world right now. Okay. How much of it is led by people who you can clearly see that they are definitely not at home within themselves, right?
And don't
I
give
think
a
that's
shit about
obvious.
you, period.
Right.
They don't care where
Exactly.
your home is, if
Yeah,
you're home, how your house is. No, no,
exactly.
they
No,
do
there's
not care about
no exactly. There's no you can see it
that.
very clearly how there's no connection within themselves. And then if you think, okay, so let's adopt this thing of coming home to ourselves. Let's do what we have to do. And then fast forward 10 years with more and more people having come home to themselves. The whole vibration of the planet will 100% change because
Yeah.
you show up when you come from a place of home, you show up differently to other people. You have more space, you have more compassion because you're not angry at yourself anymore. You're not looking for anything outside of you to fulfill that void. You're like, you understood what the void was, and now you're okay. Now you're overcome it. You're at peace within yourself. You're understanding that your life is a journey, and you just let it be shown to you by
Yeah.
your own soul, right?
I,
And
I
I
love
think that's
that
what we
because it
do.
serves two purposes, right? You feel at peace with yourself, but
Yeah.
you're able to let so much other shit go because the
Oh,
world is so angry right now. It's like this world is wrapped in this massive anger ball. It's just the weirdest thing. It's like someone shook the planet and red ants are trying to eat the black ants. And it's just the weirdest thing, right? Everyone's just pissed off and angry. And I think if, like you said, if we just went back into ourselves,
yeah.
healed our own soul, we're gonna
Mm.
let so much other shit go. We're just not gonna be pissed off about every little thing, which
Yeah.
then will reverberate throughout everything. I don't know if we could do it in 10 years, kiddo, but if we could, if you can
If
make
we
us
could,
all wake up
what if we
tomorrow,
could?
like you said, that
Exactly. What if we could? But you know what? Also, I feel that a great part of that has to do with energy, right? Whatever we give our attention is energy, right? So whatever we give our energy to multiplies, right? And there's more of, okay? So I feel like a lot of people are so stuck in analyzing all of the things that are happening in the world, and analyzing the politics and analyzing the celebrities and analyzing this thing that has been said in the media and the other thing that has been said in the media, that it's just so much energy going out. And what are you going to give to yourself? You're living their life, you're not living yours, and these things keep happening because they have the energy that we give them, you know
100%, a hundred
we got to
percent. I mean,
shift that.
it's just we keep adding fuel to the fire. We keep throwing
Yes.
logs on the fire, and the
Yeah.
fire keeps getting bigger and bigger, and
Yeah.
it's madness. But in the meantime, I mean, it's like the old saying I say all the time. It's like drinking poison and hoping that the other person dies. It doesn't work
Yeah.
that way, right? We just keep filling ourselves with this poison and this anger, and that's what's just reflected out into the world, and it's just got to turn it inward. And that's why I
Yeah.
love so much of what you're talking about, and so much of what you're doing with your holistic work, your energy work, your life coaching work. I mean, we need to get you out there more because, like I said, there's only 8 billion people, but they all have to have Zoom, right? I'm sure they all have a cell phone. We can get you out there more. So how are you working? How are you? Like, so someone comes to you and they're like, dude, I'm completely a disaster. And I just want to step back, find some peace. If I could find my soul's purpose, that'd be awesome. But that's kind of a long shot, right? I mean, that's a big. big goal. So, how do you work with people when you get with people?
I combine different things. And the approach that I use, if I get to work with someone for several months, so on a one-to-one basis, the approach that I take is completely unique to them. Because as I said, we're all different. The only thing that I do for everyone is to teach them their own astrology. That I do for everyone. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's such a great starting point, just simply because I see astrology is a tool, astrology is a tool to interpret energies. Okay. So we live on this rock, we're floating, everything is energy. All of the celestial bodies around us emit a certain amount of energy. So when we're born, whatever positions these things were, the celestial bodies were in, that's the energy that sort of like christened us as we came into the world, if you want. That's the energy that we received as we came out into the world. So that's where I start from. And even the people that had no idea about their own astrology, they're like, I'm just totally, trusting you with this because I have no clue. But if this is where you start from, then let's do it. I'm completely open. Let's try. I get so much the feedback that I get even from the people that don't know anything about their astrology is that it gives them so much validation about the life experience that they had so far, and so much clarity about what they are, who they are, about their, the different areas of the life, how their life has shaped, and some of them are into astrology, but even the ones that they're not, they're always like, oh wow, I didn't expect this to be like this.
Yeah.
And I really see, I do personal astrology, not daily astrology. So I do people's birth charts, essentially.
Mm.
That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Personal astrology. And I really see that as a little manual, instruction manual for our life that we each and every one, of each and every one of us we get. And the youngest person that I did that for, she was 21. And I did my own at 32. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I was doing that for her, and I was thinking, you're going to get this at 21 years old, and you only have to
Right.
do it once because it's your own birth chart, so it stays with you for your whole life, which means that at every single challenge you're going to be able to go and look back at your energy for all the years to come and see how it's shaping, like
Yeah.
live, as it's happening. I started doing that, as I said, at, 32, 33 years old.
Yeah.
But imagine that at 21, it's so
Yeah.
beautiful. So that's what I start from. That's the only thing that I do the same for everyone. I start with the astrology because it gives us a starting point, right? And then
Yeah.
from there, according to what the person feels like they want to work on. Some people are, where they are because of parents relationship with their parents, some people because it's work, some people because they just simply feel lost, they don't know what their purpose is, and they just can't find happiness no matter what they do. So it really is different, but that's the starting point for everyone. And then from there, I usually use the Akashic records a lot.
Use the
So
what? The what? What?
Akashic records.
Oh, okay.
So the Akashic records is another tool to
Hmm.
read energy, but this time you're reading the energy of the person. So you're accessing their past lives, you're accessing their energy, you're accessing their soul contracts, this sort of stuff,
Mm.
which is these are all tools to interpret the different energies that we have within us, right? Because everything is energy. And then from there, we find, we ask questions, we find answers and what we need to work on. And then I give them little homeworks, little things to do, every week or every couple of weeks, different kinds of meditations, depending on what they want to work on. But yeah, it's all very tailored. But I use energy healing, I use Akashic records, I use astrology, I use spirit guides, I use mediumship as well because I'm a spiritual medium as well. I use tarot. It's all a very spiritual experience, but it impacts your physical life massively. Yeah.
So first of all, you are your body and your soul. See, because your body is Italian and
Mhm.
your voice is British. It's beautiful because you're definitely the Italian comes flying out of you because you couldn't. If I duct taped your hands down, you wouldn't be able to speak at all. You wouldn't even be able to talk. But I want to go. So, how long is a program when you when you work with someone? It just depends on what they're asking for, or do you have like
It
because
depends.
I went to
So
your website. There's a ton of stuff on your website. I was like, oh,
yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah,
tons of
yeah.
different programs and stuff on your website.
Yeah, so for people that are already pretty much like further along their spiritual journey and they just want guidance for a specific thing, but they feel like already pretty much aligned and everything, they can just book like one-off sessions and just go from there according to what they feel that they need. But if it's a deeper journey, like we said, the coming home to self kind of journey, if it's somebody that's never, ever, ever, ever done any work before, I would probably say 6 months together.
Wow.
Otherwise, 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I mean, you could actually get things done in 3 or 6
Yeah,
months. It's not like
absolutely.
a one and done type of thing. What is for our folks who maybe don't get it, and there's confusion around it, I think. What is mediumship?
Talking to the dead. That's what it is.
I see. I had it completely screwed up. For some reason, I was thinking it was like tarot card reading.
No,
No.
no, no,
So
no.
you're going back because we all know that we carry things with us forward. I mean, even if you've never met your great grandparent, you may be still suffering or you maybe have something from your great grandparent, even though you've
Yeah.
never met them, right? So you go back and then you introduce them and say, "Hey, here's your great great grandma, and
Yeah.
you need to figure this shit out."
No, I mean it depends. It depends. So, not so much that. I mean, it does happen, but what happens very often is actually that people are stuck in their pain, because maybe they lost a loved one and that the grief, the pain of the grief, right? So whether they lost a parent when they were really young and it's completely affected their life, or maybe they lost a partner, or even if they lost a parent, later in life, but they had a complicated relationship with that parent. And the whole grief of it is not an easy thing to navigate, right? And it influences our life. And I feel that when we're stuck, especially with grief, when we're stuck in that kind of pain, it's very difficult to move forward. Because grief, the way that we've been taught, grief tells us that death is final. That's it. The person is gone. There's nothing else that you can do about it. You will never get any answers. They will never be around you ever again. Like it's very like this is it. And I feel so sad and I feel physical pain when I come across somebody who is stuck in that pain because they think that there's no choice, you know? And that is a lot of, that is a pain that really doesn't allow you to come home to yourself. That kind of pain, it keeps you very distant from yourself.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I lost my first wife 10 years ago
Yeah.
to cancer. She was only 46. And yeah, it's wicked. Grief is a
Yeah.
wicked, wicked beast, and there's all sorts of ways to get through it.
Yeah.
Um, getting over it's a whole nother animal. Dealing with it, it just comes in waves. It could go on forever and ever. And I know a lot of people who they're just stuck in it. And
Yeah.
it's just so sad and it's so unhealthy because you have to find a way through it.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away and you don't get over it. And I don't, maybe you have a different thought on it, but I mean, but you have to get through it, don't you think? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you don't give it up, maybe, but if you don't get through it, if you just stay there, you've just wasted two lives. Not just one's gone. Two
Yeah.
lives are gone.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. The reason why mediumship, a tool like mediumship, is so healing, is because you get closure, you get validation, you get understanding. you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so when we do that in the coming home to self journey, it's a massive push forward, really massive push forward in that journey because we're holding so much, you know? And I teach these classes. I do like loads of online workshops and talks and all of that. But the thing that I want everyone to know, and again, what if we could know this? What if,
What
what
if
if
we
everybody
could? I
knew,
don't know.
right? What if everybody knew this? That actually when somebody dies, it's actually not the end of a relationship, but it simply is a a transformation in the language that we speak,
Mm. Wow.
right?
Okay.
So they are now in the spiritual world, but their energy is here, right? The energy is around, right? Their energy is always going to be around. We're all bundles of energy at the end of the day, right? We're all bundles of energy. And even if people don't believe in certain things, you get plenty of testimonies or people saying, "Oh, I felt like my mom was here," or I all of a sudden like I smelled, this scent or this fragrance and my mom was there, or I heard a song, or I felt this energy there, something that happens, a synchronicity that happens, at a very specific time. So we know that the energy is there, right? So what we need to understand is that obviously they don't have a physical body. So they can't speak spoken words anymore, can they? It's very hard for them, right? So we are the lucky ones because we can speak both. We can
Mm.
speak the spoken word and learn many different languages. And we can also learn the language of energy, which is what they speak. And when we learn the language of energy, we learn to communicate with them again and go on to this journey of grief as not a journey of grief, but a journey of growth and
Mm.
development. So now picture that for 7 billion people, right? Tell me
That's what
how
I've been
things
saying. You got to
change,
heal all
right?
7 billion of us. But
Tell me how things
that's
change. That's
fascinating. Yeah, that's fascinating because it really is. There's no doubt. I mean, anyone who's gone through it, there's no doubt that they don't feel or even hear sometimes the person or an event or something like that. So if you can shift your mindset to that being a sad, traumatic thing, to being a glorious, wonderful, amazing thing, because
yeah,
now we're learning their language and communicating, it's a very empowering way to say it's no longer a loss because they're not lost. They're still
yeah,
there. We're
yeah,
just not we're just not opening ourselves to communicating with them. And once we do, then it's as if the loss isn't as deep. The isn't as damaging or hurtful.
yeah. And then instead of losing two lives, you gain two, right?
Well, that's lovely.
Because it continues.
I love that. I love that. That is a great way to look at that. So now I'm going to learn Spanish. Now I have to learn Spanish because she's Colombian, my ex. So why my passport? So she might be speaking in Spanish. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. She would
No,
never
that's the
speak.
thing. It's the language of energy is universal.
Right,
Once
right.
you learn it, you receive it, and that's it. When I do mediumship readings, because I do them in private, but I do plenty of readings with an audience online that people can look at. It's it's not that I just hear them. I am translating the conversation into English,
Hmm.
but I see colors. I see plenty of like sensations in my body, sounds, feelings, shapes. Sometimes I see their actual like face, but sometimes I just have a sense of what they looked like, and and then I take all these things together and I translate them into English for the person that I'm reading for. But it's not that so when I say I'm having a conversation with a person on the other side, I think that people are like, what? Because you picture that I'm having a conversation in English with them. I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm receiving so much information on very different channels.
So how many times when you're doing that does someone else hop into the conversation? It's like you're talking to grandma and all of a sudden grandpa shows up and he's like, "Hey
Uh,
man, I want to say hi to her too. Tell her that grandpa," right? I mean, does that happen where all of a sudden another energy
no,
shows up or you're just
no. I
locked
mean,
into the one?
it can show up, but that's not how I do it. So
Mm,
remember that we always have a choice of how we do these things and how we show up.
mhm.
And if I open myself up to have multiple people, then multiple people will come. But if I open myself up for one at a time, then they will come one at a time.
I got
Yes.
it. I got
We
it.
always
It's
have a choice.
awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about our new world that you're building for us. Tell us about Gloria World.
A new earth.
A new,
A
is that
new
the word?
earth.
New Earth. A new Earth.
Yes. A
Where
new
is
earth.
it and how do we get there and how soon can I leave?
I'm not the only one building it, by the way. There's many
Oh,
people. There's many people working on this and having this new earth vision, but
is Elon Musk one of them?
not that I know of.
Okay,
No.
just checking. Just checking.
I
He's
know,
pretty
no, no.
smart.
It's more like a spiritual vision, let's say. So New Earth isn't someplace else. This is a great thing about it. New Earth isn't someplace else. There's out of these 7, 8 billion people that we have on this planet, a lot of people are already in New Earth.
Hmm.
It's a vibration. It's a way of life. That's the vision. It's not someplace else because this planet is beautiful exactly, as it is. We have everything that we could ever possibly need here and more. The planet is wealthy, abundant. There's so much beauty. There's so much energy. There's so many beautiful things and beautiful people in here. So we don't need a copy of this and for all of us to get on a spaceship and land over there with all the wounds that we're carrying. So we're going to mess it up again. So now we've messed up 2 billion. No, it doesn't work like that. So New Earth is a way of living, is a vibration, is about living in a way that you are at home to yourself. That's it. That's the result of what living at home with yourself and aligned with your soul is. It's a new earth because that's what's going to happen.
So, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, is that as we find our soul's purpose and we start healing ourselves and start letting this exterior stuff go and do less and less throwing wood on the fire, but just throwing more things inward and healing ourselves. As we light, we start lighting others. And as
Yeah.
our energy gets better, we start healing people. We're spreading positive energy instead of all this negative, painful energy, which in time would create a new earth, which would create a positive, healed world
Yeah.
with a bunch of healed people in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's literally it. Yes.
I can do that. It starts with me,
Right?
right? I mean, it
It
starts with
starts
me,
with
it
us.
starts with you. It starts with everyone going to Gloria Battini and getting your chakras in order, getting your talking to grandma and healing all this stuff because you got problems.
Yeah.
Seriously though, I completely get that and I completely love that. And it's just so true. I mean, here in America, we are all so pissed off. It's the most bizarre thing in the world. I mean, there's so much anger. Friends can't talk to friends, family don't talk to family. It's the most bizarre thing. I've completely stopped it completely. It's just madness to me. But I don't understand. I guess you could be led to that by media and social media and whatever. But I think at some point, Gloria, don't you think you would want to just step back from it and just go, I don't want to do this anymore.
It was step back from.
Just the anger and the craziness
Yeah.
and start looking more inward and going, I don't want to be angry all the time. I don't want to be sick all the time. I don't want to have dis-ease all the time. I want to find that Gloria's new earth. Don't you think at some point we all kind of hit that realization like it just isn't working?
I hope so. I hope so. But also, I live in the acceptance that it is possible that not everybody will, you know?
Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot here in America. I
Yeah.
think there's just a lot of people who prefer the anger. I think they continuously seek rage and seek things that piss them off, so
Yeah.
they can feel outraged as if that's like a badge of honor or some sort of it makes them feel like they're in a tribe or it makes them feel like they're aligned with something when the truth is it's completely unaligned with the
Yeah.
universe and with your soul. You can't live in hatred. You can't live in anger. It's impossible.
It is. It is impossible. No. And if you do live, you live a very low quality of life in that. And it's not about how much money you have. It really isn't. You live a low
No.
quality of life because it's your health, it's your vibration, it's the thoughts that go in your, run in your mind all the time. It's the way that you're putting your energy out there and therefore the energy that comes back to you. It really is, and I know, like you said at the beginning, I know it's a scary thing for a lot of people to do, but there's only one way to look, and that's in the mirror.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
really
so
is
true.
that.
It is. It's so true. And
It
it's
really
just
is
tough for us
that.
to do.
Yeah.
So I lied earlier because I lie.
Mhm.
I'm a liar.
So,
I said I only had one question, but I actually have two questions.
okay.
So I always ask my guests a second question. And that question is, because you've been so gracious with your time just flies when we're doing this. Um, if you had a thought or something that you'd like to leave with people, saying a thought, some of your teachings or whatever, if there's something that you'd like to leave us with, before we toodaloo, um,
Yeah.
what would that thought be
Yeah.
if you don't mind?
I get asked this, and I will always give this answer as much as I possibly can. Um, a lot of people call it God. And it's not like a religious thing at all. But a lot of people call it God. A lot of people call it universe. Whichever way you want to look at it, it's this greater thing, right? It's this like energy. It's this bigger energy that's going on, right? You have to know that it's not outside of you. You have to know that it's inside. And you're not bad for thinking that it's inside, right? Because a lot of people are like, I cannot possibly think that God is me, right? Because like, oh, this is the God complex. This is not what we're talking about. Okay. This is not what we're talking about. You have to know that infinity, that energy, that vastness is actually who you are. And the moment you make that switch, the moment you shift, and you start seeing yourself as this, what you can do with your life, what you can overcome, what you can do, what you can achieve, the way that you can contribute to the world, massively changes. Massively, massively changes. And unfortunately, we have been conditioned to believe that we are small, right? Which, in a sense, we are because we have a small body, but it doesn't mean that our energy is small. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean that. We've been suppressed. We've been like dumped down. We've been, oppressed and suppressed in so many ways. But think about that. If you think that you're so powerless and so small, there's somebody that's gaining from that. And that's not you, is it? So,
Awesome. No, no, I wanted you to roll with that because I was hoping that you were going to come out with something like that and you did. Because it's very powerful and it's very true. And if people can see that, I don't know, it's been around for a long time. I don't think Nelson Mandela wrote it, but he gets credit for writing it. But have you ever heard Nelson Mandela's inauguration speech when he became president of Africa, South Africa?
no, I haven't actually. No, I need to.
Google it. because
Okay.
basically it's kind of what you said. I think it even just starts out with you playing small uh, does not serve the world. That
No.
we're bigger. God made us, this universe made us, spirituality, like you said, whatever you want to believe, does not want us to be small. We all, by little acts of kindness, we are big. We create bigger things. It's a beautiful speech, and I have it. I should know it by heart. I've had it up in my bathroom for probably 30 years. And it's
Oh,
a big speech. It's in a nasty beaten up frame. And I used to keep it in my boys' bathroom when they were little, so that they would just unconsciously read it while they were brushing their teeth, just to like when you're eating cereal as a kid and you're reading the cereal box. I was hoping they would just read it. But I think it's even called "Your Living Small Does Not Serve the World." And it's just what you said.
yeah.
I think that there are times where we feel we just get frustrated, like we can't make a difference. And we give up and just get into the anger game, right? But the truth is, if you listen to Gloria Battini and you just heal yourself, right? And create your own life and your own goodness and your own purpose and soothe your own soul, that in turn will help others. It just can't not, right? Because like you said, we're all energy.
Yeah.
And if we put out negative energy, then that's what we're going to give to the world. But if we create positive energy, that's what we're going to give to the world. And it's so much more healing, the positive
Yeah.
energy, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And like you said, it's a ripple effect, you know. We have, part of that concept, of us being, big and being infinity is because you think that you working on yourself is just you. But actually you working on yourself impacts thousands of people without you knowing it. And you don't even have to be someone famous or with a platform. Like, no, just you going on about your own life, not even using any social media, not putting anything out there to a public, to an audience. Even if you just live your life, coming home to yourself, healing yourself, you will 100% impact thousands and thousands of people because what you give out unconsciously, it's so different. It's so different.
I love that. It's exactly what you said. And that's how you create the new world. That's how
Yeah.
you create this new earth, is because let's face it, you get by someone, you could feel their energy. You get by someone who's like, God, I just feel good hanging around you. I don't even know why. We don't even know you haven't even said anything, right? And there's other people you get by and you're like, wow, what the hell's wrong with that person?
Yeah.
I can feel
Yeah.
already the bitter or the anger. I can already feel the negative energy, right? I mean, we all do without even someone even speaking a word. So imagine if everyone just, like you said, you don't even have to put it out there. It doesn't have to be on social media. You don't have to be out there preaching and stuff like that. Especially, you don't have to be a celebrity. It's better if you're not. Um, but it's just healing yourself, coming home to yourself. I love that. Coming home to self. That's my new now favorite saying.
Oh,
Well,
thank you.
you've been amazing, Gloria Bettini. Time just flies by. We never have enough time. You've been wonderful. I just appreciate
Thank you.
everything that you've brought to us. So where does everybody find Gloria Bettini? How do we all go to you so we could start the process of our new world?
Thank you. So you can go to my website, which is gloriabattini.com. And then if you happen to have an app, or if you don't have it, you can download it. It's called Insight Timer. And
Wait. What's it called?
Insight Timer.
Inside Timer?
Yeah, Insight
Oh,
Timer.
Insight
Uh,
Timer. Okay.
yeah, and it's a great app. It's a spiritual app. There's thousands of teachers. And there's, even there's a paid version of the app as well, but even the free version of the app is amazing. And there's loads of support there for, the work that we were talking about, healing and coming on to ourselves and overcoming and all this sort of stuff. There's, it's originally was created as an app for meditation, and now there's courses, meditations, live events, and everything. And I'm a teacher there, and we
And
have a
it's called
community.
Insight Timer.
Yeah,
Timer?
yeah,
Timer?
yeah.
Wow. All right, cool. We'll look
And
for
there's thousands of teachers on there. And I have as a teacher, I've got about a community of about 2,000, 2,500 people, 2,000, 2,300 people. And we do live events. I do loads of different live events, readings, and all of that. And it's all free, donation based. So you can come along, experience it, be part of a community that is also on the journey, on the healing journey and on a growth journey, and just start from there. It's a beautiful place to start from.
it. Love it. Let's get 7 billion people on that app connected with
Exactly,
your stuff.
right? Yeah.
But yeah, but
And
and go ahead.
sorry, and it's purposely built without any advertising in there because it's time for yourself, time for healing. So it's like the next level how social media should be. That's what it is.
Right. I love that. You're right there in a
Yes,
2 minute, you're deep two
yes,
minutes into a meditation. It comes out, hey, come to McDonald's and get a
exactly.
cheeseburger. It's like,
Right?
no.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Well, I'll tell you what, besides that, Gloria Battini, is it gloriabattini.com,
yeah.
right?
That's my
Has
website.
tons of stuff on there. So
Yeah,
people go to gloriabattini.com. There's tons of different courses. There's so many little rabbit holes to go down.
yeah.
It really is a great website, and you do so much
Mhm.
wonderful work. I'm just so
Thank you.
grateful that you came along today, all the way from London town to
Thank
play
you.
and have fun with us. But it's really been
Thank
great.
you.
You're doing good work, kiddo.
Thank you.
Let's all come home to ourselves
Yes.
and go to our new Earth and hang out with Gloria Battini. I
Thank
know
you
I
so
want
much,
to.
sir. Yes, please, please. Thank you so much. You've been really, really a wonderful host. And honestly, I would carry on. If there wasn't a time to this, I would honestly carry on the conversation. It's been
Well, we'll
so,
do it again.
so
There's
nice.
always
Yeah,
time to come back and do it
yeah,
again
absolutely.
because
Yeah,
this is great. I love it. I love
yeah,
it. Love
yeah.
it.
Would
So,
love to.
all right, everybody, you just experienced the amazingness of Gloria Battini. Please look for her on gloriabattini.com. Also, Insight Timer, which I'm going to look for, and we can all come home to ourselves, which I think would make a new Earth. I love it. All right,
Yes.
kiddo. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank
Thanks again for joining us on another episode of What If You Could podcast. Please subscribe, like, share, and give us any feedback. We'd love to hear it. And remember, if you can dream it, you can do it. See you next time.